Alright folks, welcome to this episode. In today's video we've come to explore another piece of incredible interest and history. This is one of the coolest places that I come to visit because it's actually one of the oldest places that I come to visit. This is the Restennith Priory and it was built 710 AD. The tower was built, or the beginnings of the tower was built anyway, so they believe. So let's go and have a look at it. I've been here a long time ago, but I do enjoy coming here for a little morning stroll. Look at these cows here, very inquisitive. Moo! Happy cow. I'd be happy to in this field here, all the lush green grass. Anyway folks, let's take a look at this historical wonder. It's a cool angle of it here, but the sun unfortunately is kind of dazzling us. The sun's just gone behind that tree, look at this. On the side of the tower you can actually see where there's been other like roof lines and that. No climbing on the masonry. It's crazy to imagine the history when you come to a place like this. I'm pretty sure it would have been like monks or something that was kicking about here. And it's like the tower's actually been part of a big abbey at one time. Look at this unusual little bit here. It's maybe been bricked up from the other side. Yeah, there's been so many different layers of architecture here over the years. It's truly like fascinating to come in here. Look at this thing flying at the camera. Daddy Longlegs. So like I was saying before that Daddy Longlegs started attacking me there. There's so many layers of like architecture here. There's been so many bits like added and taken away over the years. It's fascinating just looking at all the different layers. And there's even been like something taken out there at one time. It's maybe been another little kind of pillar bit like that. These pillars, the short pillars there must have been like some sort of reinforcement bit. And then this has kind of been an enclosed bit here as well. Look at these old graves here. Unmarked graves. So ancient. In fact, I must have walked past a grave on the ground there at the far end. Yeah, I think because this bit here has been enclosed, that's how these windows has been bricked up. And then there's been a kind of little wall bit there. Yeah, I don't know if these bits have been added as reinforcements or something at one time at the corners. Wow. It must have been such a magnificent structure in its day, when all these windows were complete. They probably contained like stained glass with the little lead, individual lead surrounded. I can't even speak. It probably had stained glass windows with the lead seams on them. Yeah, it's like there's been something actually at the corners here. It is unusual. These stones have probably been taken for other projects. Probably back in the wild history of this area since 710 AD, like stones will have been taken from here for building sheds and houses all over the place. And maybe they had livestock in this section here, because the holes in the wall would suggest they've been letting the area breathe. So maybe if the monks and the ministers of their era has been living in this section, or maybe they weren't living in that section, maybe they had little houses. I'm just visualising it and imagining it. Maybe this was their little living quarters here, these squares. And then their livestock would have been in this area here. And then this is where they had their religious worship. Praising the Lord. That's when Christianity was first sweeping over this country. The land of the barbarians. It's incredible to imagine. And there's just so much to it. Little details. We'll go and look at a couple of these details that I've just noticed. You can see where the roof has been onto these little bits along the top. Probably big ancient oak beams supporting the massive roof. But look at this bit. There's been something along here with this stones. There's been something right there. See, I wonder if it was heated. I wonder if that whole room there was heated at one time. Is this the back of some sort of fire or furnace? And then here's another detail here. Like, you can actually see the outline of some sort of square. Maybe that's no been in there though. And then here we can see there's definitely been another roof on the edge of here, look, leading out this way. Yeah, each one of those has had a different carved pattern in it. There's little stones there which the roof timbers would have rested on, and each one seems to have a different like pattern on it, and you can still actually make out the pattern, which is pretty cool. I don't think this bit of the building here is as old as the actual tower itself, but it's still ancient. I do apologise for any wind. There is a bit of wind blowing around here today. Look at this, here's another interesting feature. What has this been? See, if there has been a roof here at one time, you can see where the other side of it came down on the tower up there, and this must have been an internal feature within the room I'm standing in just now. Same with these lines straight down here. So this, I'm just thinking, look at the height of this. This has been the second story for the floor joist to rest on. See, once again folks, we're figuring out history. Oh, it's had several roofs. Look at that. There's been a little roof there, which has maybe been at one time, and then look, that further up line is the one that matches with this one here, I would say. And the wall line must have come straight down here into this tower. Oi! All this ancient artifacts here in the tower, folks. Look, this has been like, what has this been? Look, there's a dead crow in there, oh my goodness. Dead crow, look, here's a part of a Pictish stone. It appears the Picts have been drawing up the blueprints for Tetris. Look at this here, this is like, it almost looks like the side of like a fireplace surround. Look, these holes have actually been dancing. Wonder what that was. Oh look, it's actually numbered here. People can look this up. What's that? That's a historical nugget. They're all coded historical nuggets. Artifacts which have been dug up probably in the surrounding area. Look at that, it's the top of a pillar. These are maybe parts of even this tower. This must also be a pillar then, this here. And then look at this. This is like history which is so old, it's like mind-boggling, folks. You can think when the iron was actually cast. Like hundreds of years ago, if not thousands of years ago potentially. Look at this, big like gate hinges. Massive. Oh, so there's been two separate gates here, look at that. And then the holes in the stone there. It's so cool that it's not actually locked up just now with a gate though, 'cause it's so interesting to come and look at this. See, the stone's been hollowed out here, so there must have been like a door frame even in this small area. Look at that. They've actually drilled a hole into this stone. What? It's crazy, folks. It's the sort of thing, like, even though I've been to a location before, I just keep discovering more and more history. This could be an even older lock mechanism. The bit of wood would have gone from one side to another. And there's no way that you would have knocked that down, like. It's incredible. Wow, has that been a big window there at one time, potentially? Look at it. I'm sure it's looking a lot more weathered here than what it used to be when I first came. All those years ago. See, it's got bits like this on the wall, but I believe these are like grave markers. The way the stone's shaped here at these windows is amazing. And the time it stood shows you the strength of that. This is the bit on the inside here where we saw that bit. I says there was maybe a way of heating this place, maybe a fire or something like that, I said. But look, there is something inside here, look. A rabbit's been digging a hole. So I don't know if this has been like a tomb or what. There has been some sort of stone carvings there. Wow, look at this. See, maybe there has been somebody's remains in here at one time with like a headstone sort of thing in front of that. But who knows, folks? It's the same with all these. There were probably like inlays, like stone in front of it. Wow. Look at this, like the shape of it. And then at this end, I believe there would have been like a grand window. Maybe candles on those edge little bits there. It's strange because it's got these big square bits cut out. It's crazy trying to decipher like erosion or if it's actually man-made where it's carved. But I believe these bits are carved out. And I think it could have potentially been for candles. So if we're thinking about the era that this all occurred, like, for sure they would have needed candles. Wow, look at it from here. Ancient history for sure. Here's one in the middle, look. Restennith Priory. From 16th century onwards. Wow. I wonder if this stone came from any of these wall sections of it. Maybe it was always on the floor. These are obviously like graves or tombs under here as well. Oh, look at this, folks. I almost did not notice this. There's definitely something carved into that. Does it show on the camera? Look at this here though, there's a face on it. See, that's artwork they would have actually put on a thing like that back there. See the two eyes, the nose, and the mouth. Kinda looks like when a kid draws a snowman. But like, that must have been their level of carving back then. That was all they wanted. They must have thought when they did that, like, I'm a skilled stone carver, like, here I go. What else do we have here, folks? Oh, look at this one. I'm sure above that it says 18 something, potentially. But unfortunately, look at the state of the wear on the stone there. And then look at this. What's been here? There's been maybe a statue or something on this plinth. See, somebody's been here a lot more recently, scoring into it. Like, that's not what we want to see here at a site which dates as far back as this. Now, this is cool, folks. Those stone coffins that you see over there, if you lifted the lid on them, this is what you would see. A human-shaped section with a body inside it, with a head in that slot. And look, there's an unusual like drain kind of bit on it, which leads down there. But that's it. Yeah, that's what a coffin used to be, a stone coffin, folks. That's incredible. So even those old coffins that we saw up the side of the building at the start there, that's inside them. That's what it'll be like. Skeleton will just be in there for you now. Most other things rotting away. But it is crazy to think if there's any ancient treasures, they're probably well sealed inside a thing like that. Look at the size of this thing. For its time, like, it's a massive, massive building. But then I suppose religious buildings were always the biggest type at that time. So I think this area here must have been for their livestock. But I think it's had a roof on it as well at one time. Because look, it's got all these bits at the top for the roof going on to. The roof beams. All the way around. So this has maybe been like... This could be like one of the earliest farm sheds here in Scotland. Again, they've had a nice shed here for their beasts. Everyone else probably had their cows in their kitchen back then. Yeah, look, we've got the vents just like all over this wall. Those holes go right through. Not unless it was some sort of like storage or warehouse. Look at this dragonfly, folks, on the wall. I'll freak out if it comes near me, but I'm doing this for the footage. It's flown away. It's getting a heat from the rock. An orange dragonfly. But yeah, that could have maybe been a food storage area, if not for their livestock. But there's definitely been some reason they've had all this. Look at that for a view of the tower. The Restennith Priory Tower, folks. It's a true historical gem. Yeah, so maybe this whole place was actually walled off at one time and you would have to come here and then hope that the vicar or the monk was nearby. You'd be standing knocking at the door. See, there's been so much here, it's hard to know like what's all missing. Because that wall here has continued out at one time as well. Yeah, when it was all standing, like, it must have been impressive. This whole door bit here is just missing, but look at the carving of the bit that's left. So I was just noticing this strange mound here at the edge of the premises, but I think what it might actually be is just there's been a tree growing here. I don't think it's some sort of historical like burial mound or something like that. See, this is like unusual. The more you look at these stone structures, the more it fascinates me. Like, because look at the way that this is all like sloped and shaped. It's weird. And then this bit here is now sloped and shaped. It's like they've used some stones from something else to maybe make this bit. So that's how there's such a random like mix of stones in here. But look at this. This is what I didn't notice before. There's a bit here that's almost like a bench. Same at this side. This is maybe like used to be their wee lounge. I'll sit in the lounge. Yeah, it could have been something like that. Who even knows, folks? It's always cool to come and explore places like this, especially when it's built 710 AD. Look at it. Wonder if William Wallace ever came by here on his horse, like. Right, folks, I'll end this video here. Thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode very soon.